I'm Tara Joseph here with Wayne Arnold of Breaking Views to look at some of the key events in Asia in the week ahead. And Wayne, let's start with trade. We've already had a really gloomy set of numbers from around Asia. Yeah. Now we get the Hong Kong numbers coming out.
The Hong Kong numbers are a bit of a leading indicator for the rest of the region, so I think we're going to get more of the same. It's just the July numbers. It's just going to be a prequel of what's going to happen in the third quarter.
Same old song.
Same old song again. We're going to see, I think, very weak exports to Europe, obviously, weakening exports to China, and the very, very painful thing is that exports to the U.S., which were holding them up, I think are going to cool down a little more. They'll still be rising, but they're not doing their job of holding up exports for Asia as a whole.
From exports to earnings, and some of these companies that are major exporters like Foxconn, which makes iPhones, reporting next week as well.
Right, and there I think you'll see more reflections of the same. I think their earnings are still going to be rising, but they're looking for, I think over the year, things are going to get worse and worse as demand starts to slacken.
They're doing well because they're making iPhones, or there's still room to export this stuff?
Well, there's still room to export that, and people still buying smartphones. I mean, look at Samsung's earnings were very, very strong, and I think the same is going to go for the overall smartphone industry. I mean, Foxconn's problems are the costs are also rising in China, so their margins are going to get squeezed by that. And so clearly they'll do okay, but not great.
There's always an exception in this grim earnings season. Yeah. People are still buying smartphones.
Right.
Let's move over to India. There's been so much focus on China recently, how gloomy the outlook is. India comes out with growth figures. Things haven't been great there either.
Can't help you there, on the gloom front. More gloom in India. The great thing is they're not a big exporter, so you would think, well, that's good for them. But unfortunately, they've had a lot of problems. Already, the government hasn't been pushing on reform, and so the investment climate's very negative. And the real climate has also become very negative. The monsoon's been very disappointing, and so that's going to hurt agricultural output. And so I think there we might actually see some pretty terrible GDP numbers for the second quarter. It could even go down to 5%, which sounds great if you're in the U.S. or Europe, but in India's case, that's extremely bad.
Could there be any bright spots for India? We haven't heard much good news from there for a while. Is there anything in those numbers that could give hope?
Not that I know. Absolutely none.
Tough times in Asia.
Tough times in Asia
That's
this quarter.
Really
the
picture that is being painted.
Yeah, which is why people are looking for some kind of a stimulus from policymakers. If the central banks in India were to finally cut rates and stop looking at food price inflation, that would be good. If China were to cut rates or spend some more money, if the Fed were to ease, do something like that, that's what markets are looking for.
We're looking for something. Wayne Arnold, thanks.